What's up guys, it's Paul from Boosted Films, and in this video we're going to do a little update on my black EVO. So most all the updates happened under the hood and one under the car. We'll get to that in a little bit. First thing I did was actually install this Wunderladen reverse cam sensor housing, and that all went pretty good. I made a full how-to on that already if you want to get more information on that and like removing valve cover, stuff like that. So I got that one done. But then after doing that, what kind of bothered me is, for whatever reason, this upper intercooler pipe was right up against this radiator hose, and that bothered me. So I wanted to move it over, but in the process of trying to move that over and kind of get it better situated, I was playing with some of the intercooler piping, and it was kind of being held over this way because of my blow-off valve setup. So I spent like an hour or two, honestly, probably changing this whole setup. So this is kind of all switched around now. I switched, I can't remember if this is a 10 or a 9 blow-off valve, but I switched between the two because this other one had the top piece here going this direction, and this blow-off valve used to actually be like it used to be right underneath this upper radiator hose. I wasn't a fan of that either. So I got it set up now to a way I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty good this way. It seems to be holding up fine. I've had it like this actually for probably at least a month now. So that's one thing I did. I played around with that. I changed all that. Of course, like I said, I installed the Wunderladen reverse cam sensor housing. Here's an OEM one, just so you can see this OEM piece with it. Sensor would have normally stuck out towards the front of the car. And of course now it's a lot cleaner up there, and it looks like a very nice piece. And speaking of the Wunderladen stuff, I also installed this bracket. It's gonna be hard to see, but right in between there is the ethanol bracket. Really nice piece too, that fit really well, good fitment. So I installed that a while back as well. I didn't really make a how-to video on it because there's not a whole lot to it, but I also cleaned up some of the fuel, where the fuel line runs, because you run to the return line, and there used to be a hard piece that ran down here, a hard line, and I took that off of kind of the fuel rail, cleaned it up there, made it look a little cleaner in there as well. So I did those 3 things, I guess. And then the front center member, cross member bar here, I pulled this out, and here's why. This thing would buzz. All the time. I had a guaranteed buzz with this thing. Around 2,500 RPMs, it would buzz in every single gear. And at first I didn't mind it, but eventually it just bothered me. And I realized it was, this, and I verified it that this is the cause of it. So as you can see, I got the stock one back in there. I got a brand new OEM mount that I put on a different used crossbar I picked up. I basically like to update stuff, so people know that whether or not they want to get it. I had this installed for 2 years. I made a video about this 2 years ago. So if you bought it because of me, hopefully you didn't have that same rattle. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it was enough that it bothered me enough to take it off. And this one was before you could choose what hardness you wanted for the bushing. And this is the 90 hardness. So I don't know if that was part of it. I don't know if it was a perfect combination of some of my bushings and mounts or what. I really can't say for sure why it did it, but that buzzing got to me enough that I knew I wanted to change that. So I ran it for 2 years. I'm sure weight savings, I might update again to see if I actually noticed anything as far as shifting goes. Although if I remember correctly, when I first installed this, I said something about the shifting, not really noticing it as much. But for me, it was more just about the weight savings. Was kind of why I wanted to install that, and it looks nice. It's a quality piece. It's held up. It's good. I just didn't like the buzzing. If you've experienced anything like that, please let me know, because I messaged them and reached out, and they said they hadn't heard of that issue. That's about it. I've just been driving it. It's been fun. It's been a good car. I really love this Evo. It's definitely one of my favorites. And I'm trying to think if I did anything else different on the inside. I know you haven't showed you guys around in a while. I actually have a question too though, for anyone smarter than me on the internet. I bought this shifter knob from someone, a friend of mine actually, who said it's an ARC. But I have no idea how I would verify if it is. So if anyone knows how you'd verify if you have an ARC shift knob, like an authentic one, that'd be cool. Cool to know. So that's about it. That's what I've been up to with this Evo, other than just, you know, driving it around, cruising around, having some fun. It's been good. Upcoming mods still, I'm gonna drive it the way it is now that I kind of just changed that front roll stop. Since I just changed that, I'm gonna drive it for a little while, make sure it's fine, make sure there aren't any other vibrations, weird things going on. And then eventually I should get to installing those JXB drive shaft carrier bushings. Of course, I'm generally, as you may know, I just kind of said how picky I kind of can be, at least about that buzzing. I'm hopeful too that, you know, installing those drive shaft carrier bushings wouldn't have some other side effect, audio, you know, noise, vibration, harshness wise that would bother me, because that's a irreversible mod in some ways as well. You'd have to buy new OEM bushings to swap out if it was noisy and didn't like it. But I've heard, you know, good things, so I do want to try it. So hopefully I'll get around to doing that soon. But that's about it for this quick video update. Hope you don't mind just a quick and dirty update on things. If you have any requests, anything you want to see, let me know. I might be able to do some more videos. It was good to do another how-to video installing that reverse cam sensor housing, because I feel like I hadn't done a how-to video on an Evo in like forever. So we'll see. I actually have Hawk brake pads that I've had here for like 2 years that I haven't installed yet either, just because I don't drive it enough, or, you know, I don't road course it or even really autocross it that much to do that. But I really should probably do brakes, put new rotors on, put those Hawk brake pads in, and I should probably also get some new tires for this thing, because these tires are, they've been on here for a long time. So should do some burnouts, I guess, you know, and burn them off. But that's what I'm looking at. All budget dependent, of course, depending on how much I want to spend on this car. I still have the silver Evo, so the silver Evo is still around, still debating how much work, how much money I want to stick into that thing to fix it. So as always, it's Paul from Boosted Film saying thanks so much for watching.